life not going exactly as planned. So, we were sold, particularly my generation, the idea of go to school, get your degree, get married, start a career, buy a house, have a family. And that is just not the way it is.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Lisa. I'm a women's online fitness coach trying to help you make your 30s the best decade of your life so far. Today we are going to go hit a back workout and I'm excited for it. It's Monday. It's not Monday for you, but right now it is Monday morning, starting the week off strong. Yesterday was Mother's Day. So we're going to talk a little bit about kind of being in your 30s and not having kids and what that's like and how life doesn't really go exactly how you expect it. So I'll see you guys inside.
All right, so we're starting today's back day with reverse flies, just kind of warming up the area, warming up our rear delts, all of that good stuff. And I ended up doing like 25 minutes on the treadmill before because I lost track of time messaging clients back and forth. So I feel like cardio is already done, or a good majority of it. But one thing with reverse flies, make sure you're controlling the weight. You're not just throwing it back, and you're stopping slightly past the line of your shoulder. You don't need to throw it back because there's no muscle being worked from here to here. So you just stop slightly past your shoulders. And I lean my chest really far forward on the pad and scoot my butt back because I feel it better. So one thing I said that we would talk about today is kind of life not going exactly as planned. So, we were sold, particularly my generation, the idea of go to school, get your degree, get married, start a career, buy a house, have a family. And that is just not the way it is. And I think we were sold this lie of like, if our life doesn't look like that, then it's not right, or it's incorrect, or it's bad. And I think we're starting to realize that we were sold a lie. And like I said, life doesn't go the way you planned. I mean, I've never flat out said it on my social media, but I got a divorce 2 years ago, and I didn't think that was ever going to happen. I didn't think I'd be 31, 32, starting over, trying to figure out my life, figuring out what I want, which is part of why I moved to Vegas. Like, I just needed a fresh, clean start. I had no reason to stay where I was. There was nothing there really for me. And I think that's okay to want to build, create what you want. And I have a lot of friends in their late 20s, early 30s that are also going through that. And it's a very scary, difficult transition. But, I wouldn't wish it on anybody. But it is what it is. Shit happens. Like, I know there's this feeling of like, you failed at life if something like that happens. And it's not true. Like, circumstance, like, maybe it's just not the right situation for you anymore. Or maybe, you guys are going separate directions or whatever it may be. But that doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you're a failure. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, which are all like emotions that I dealt with during that time. It's just a part of life. And like, you learn from it, you grow from it, you learn what you want, what you need, you learn how to be a better person, partner, etc. from it. And again, I wouldn't wish it on anybody. Like, it's fucking sucks, but it is what it is. And you just learn and move on and do the shit you need to do. Oh goodness. Okay, now we're going to single arm rows. So when you're doing these, you want to lean slightly so you really engage. And you can pause if you want to. Man, I'm golfing next week, 18 rounds or 18 holes. I'm gonna be so sore considering how sore I am today. And if you're feeling spicy, you want add a little bicep in there. We'll grab our handles. And make sure when you do these, your arm, like the upper part of your arm, is literally staying in the same place. And all you're doing is bending your elbows, bringing your hands towards your face. So the other part of the conversation that I think we need to have is it's okay to also like it's okay for your life not to go as planned, and it's okay to be in your 30s and not have kids. You know, I don't think you have to put this pressure on yourself that like time is running out and like yeah, are there like does your likelihood decrease as you get older? Yes, but also I think stressing yourself out about it and feeling like, you know, it's now or never makes that situation 10 times worse. I've kind of gotten to the point where it's just like I'll be happy either way. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But there's no pressure on myself to rush my life just to do that. I actually had a client back in South Carolina who had her first at 40 or 41 and her second at like 42, 43. And things were fine. And she said it was the best decision waiting to have them till later. And, you know, whenever I think about it and get sad or whatever, I keep that in mind because I don't know, there's something in the water right now. Literally everyone I know is having kids or pregnant this year. Like one of my best friends back in South Carolina just had her baby boy yesterday, which is super exciting. Like what a Mother's Day gift, right? And it's so interesting because she used to be someone that never wanted kids. Like we've been friends for a while, like what, 8 years now? And we both felt that way in our 20s ish. And then a couple years ago, we like sat down and had a heart to heart one day. I still remember it like we were, I think it was in the middle of the summer, sitting on her porch swing outside. And we just like had a heart to heart about what we actually want. And we both have gotten to a point where maybe we did want them. We still were kind of unsure, but like it was becoming an idea. And it wasn't so much like, I don't want this to happen. Um, and I think that was the first time both of us had actually like said it out loud to someone else. And like we talked through it and we cried and it was this whole thing. So I'm so happy for them that that was baby number two that they had yesterday. And like, I'm just so happy for them. But if you're in the same boat as I am, I also think there's so many beautiful things about not having kids and like being able to enjoy your 30s and doing what you want whenever you want. So I think both of them, with kids, without kids, are both lives worth living. And I don't think it's fair the amount of judgment that's made towards women that don't have kids, whether by their choice or not by their choice. In that middle, like I'm not dying to have kids, but also like if it happened, I wouldn't be heartbroken about it. So I think that's the beautiful thing about being able to just live your life and not put pressure on certain things and just it is what it is mentality, you know? If it happens, cool. If it doesn't, cool. Not that I want it to happen anytime soon or I'm actively trying to make that happen, but you know what I mean? I think the best thing that you can do to make that happen or like live your life up until like that happens or not. It's focus on you and focusing on your health and making yourself the healthiest and happiest version of you. And then that is like an added bonus. But I don't want you to like live your life feeling like you can only be happy if this thing happens. Because what if it doesn't? You deserve to live a healthy, happy life. And it shouldn't like have um stipulations. You know, be happy in the now, and then whatever happens in the future is gonna happen. But I think the best thing you can do is stop comparing yourself to everyone else's timeline and do what makes you happy. That's the thing. You're the only one that can make that happen. And this talk wasn't meant to be depressing in any way. It was meant to be supportive and like, you can get through this. Because even though it's hard and there's no like rule book of how to get through it, you just gotta keep going. But if you make yourself a priority and you focus on what you need and what you want to do, you can build the best life for yourself. I also recommend therapy. That was super helpful. We're almost done, by the way. We're gonna do finish lap pull downs, finish straight arm lat pull downs, and then we might finish with some bicep curls. I think sounds like a solid plan. Okay, barbell, preacher curls, last exercise. When you're adjusting the seat, you basically want your armpit to be able to go right here. Okay, you don't want to be like back here. And then I also scoop my butt back. That way I can lean. It helps. And I'm not letting my body like teeter all bicep. And like this is super random, but like I was on TikTok the other day and some woman posted a TikTok saying like, I don't know how all these girls love lifting weights. It's hard. I have little boy arms. I can barely pick up the light weight. And that's the whole point. It is hard, but you get stronger and you keep doing it and you keep lifting heavy shit. And pretty soon that heavy shit becomes light and then you pick up heavier shit. And it's like it's kind of the whole point. So saying you don't want to lift weights because it's hard and it's heavy kind of shows a little bit about your discipline or determination as a person. Like that's literally the whole fucking point. If you say you can't, you already have it in your head that you can't. If you can say, I'll try, okay, that's a much better mindset than I can't. So, yeah, it's fucking hard. And it's going to keep being hard because you keep pushing and you keep making it harder. That's kind of life. That's kind of anything that's worth going after, right? I'm going to do a couple more sets of bicep curls, cool down on the treadmill. Thanks so much for walking. Thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good shit. And I'll see you guys in the next one.